The mask was falling. The man they once praised now terrified them. But evil never surrenders quietly. And Pastor Gideon was ready for war. At the village square that morning, the villagers surround the mysterious young man who appeared with the branded arm. With curiosity, the villagers asked, "You were buried 2 years ago. How are you alive?" The young man replied weakly, "I was never truly dead. He used me for a ritual, but something went wrong. I escaped, but not without this mark." He shows the burn scar on his arm, a twisted spiral symbol. Obinna to the village elders _ His secrets are no longer hidden. We must stop him now, before more disappear. This is bigger than we feared, the chief elder said. At the church compound, same day, the elders and a few brave villagers approached the church to confront Pastor Gideon. But the gates are already locked. From a distance, Pastor Gideon steps out, eyes glowing faintly, voice echoing unnaturally. Pastor Gideon standing before them. "You come to challenge God's anointed. I warned you, this church is my covenant." Obinna steps forward. "You're no man of God. You're a servant of shadows." The sky darkens slightly. Wind howls through the trees. "Then let the spirits decide who speaks the truth." Pastor Gideon responded. There was strange nightfall later that night. The village is quiet. Too quiet. Chickens stop clucking. Even dogs refuse to bark. Then, screaming echoes from a hut near the river. A woman is found babbling, eyes white, claiming to see shadows dancing in the fire. Villager, terrified. "It's Pastor Gideon. He's sending spirits to punish us." At Obinna's room, at midnight, Obinna and Mama Efe walk with the survivor and begin preparing spiritual defenses, burning herbs, placing protective markings at doors. "Mama Efe, we must cleanse this land. But we cannot do it alone. We need someone who has battled this kind of darkness before." Obinna. "Then we bring in Elder Danjuma. He was once an oracle before he lost faith." Mama Efe. "Then let him find it again. Or we all perish." Danjuma's shrine, next morning. They approach the outcast Elder Danjuma, now living in seclusion near the forest. "Danjuma, wary. You want to fight Gideon? That man's covenant is sealed in blood. You need more than prayers." Obinna. "Then teach us. We'll fight with all we have." Danjuma hesitates, then nods slowly. "Very well. But once we begin, there's no turning back." The 3-night vigil, spiritual warfare began. Obinna, Mama Efe, Danjuma, and the survivor begin a midnight vigil. They chant, pour libations, call on ancestral spirits for help. Suddenly, shadows start forming in the corners. The candles flicker violently. A chilling voice fills the air, it's Gideon's. Pastor Gideon, disembodied. "You call on powerless spirits. I drink from the source of fear itself." A massive wind blows out the light. Everything goes dark. At the church compound, same night. Inside the church, Gideon stands before his altar, chanting. His eyes are completely black. Flames dance unnaturally. A strange figure stands behind him, a demon-like entity covered in smoke. "Pastor Gideon. Bind the tongues of those who speak against me. Blind their eyes. Silence the land." Village chaos, next morning. 3 children are missing. The river is blood red. The crops wither overnight. Villagers, in panic. This is punishment. We shouldn't have doubted the pastor. No. This is exactly what he is, evil in disguise. The village is divided. Some still cling to Gideon out of fear, while others join Obinna in resistance. At night, Obinna sleeps, but in his dream, Mama Rose appears. glowing, peaceful. Mama rose, in dream. The final battle is near. You must go beneath the church. The truth lies there. Obinna, confused. What is the truth? Mama rose, fading. The altar was built on stolen bones. Find them. Break the curse. Before the blood moon rises. Obinna wakes up, drenched in sweat. He looks out the window. A red moon is rising. The war between light and shadow has begun. But can Obinna uncover the truth in time? Before the village is swallowed whole. The blood moon has risen. The line between the living and the dead is fading. Obinna holds the key. But beneath the church, something ancient waits. At Mama Efe's shrine, early morning. Obinna paces restlessly, recounting his dream to Mama Efe and Elder Danjuma. She said the altar was built on stolen bones. That's where his power comes from. Mama Efe. The ancestors are trying to help us. The blood moon weakens dark spirits, but only if we act before it sets. Danjuma, solemnly. Then we dig. But we must enter with protection, or none of us will return alive. The team prepares spiritual weapons, blessed water, protective beads, powder chalk, ancestral prayers. Obinna is marked on his forehead with sacred ash. Danjuma. Once we step inside, do not speak unless spoken to. If you hear voices calling your name, do not answer. Obinna nods. I'm ready. At the church, midnight. They sneak into the church compound, now abandoned by most villagers. Thunder rumbles above. Obinna pries open a wooden trapdoor beneath the altar, hidden beneath layers of dirt. A narrow tunnel leads into darkness below. Mama Efe whispers. This is it, the belly of the beast. At the underground chamber. They descend slowly. The tunnel is narrow, the walls covered in faded symbols. They enter a large chamber lit by torches that burn without smoke. At the center, a mound of skulls and bones, arranged in a circle. In the middle, an idol, twisted and demonic, coated in dried blood. Obinna whispers. This is where he draws his power, from the bones of the innocent. Danjuma. These are stolen souls. We must set them free. They begin the cleansing ritual, chanting, sprinkling water, breaking the circle with chalk. But suddenly, a loud shriek echoes through the tunnel. The idol begins to shake. A dark wind erupts. At the church above, same time. Pastor Gideon senses it. He's in his private chamber, in a trance, when his eyes burst open in rage. Pastor Gideon growls. They dare touch my altar. He grabs a dagger, begins chanting violently. His pupils turn to slits. Let the shadows rise. Let the earth swallow them. Chaos erupts underground. The ground shakes. Bones rattle. A demonic spirit emerges from the idol, towering and monstrous. Spirit, roaring. You do not belong here. Obinna stands firm, holding a blazing torch. Saying, we come in the name of those you've devoured. Be gone. Mama Efe and Danjuma, chanting. Back to the pit. Back to the shadows. The spirit attacks. Obinna is knocked back. The torch falls. Mama Efe holds her hands to the ground, chanting a final incantation. A beam of light breaks through the ceiling. The spirit screams and dissolves. The bones collapse into ash. Silence follows. Outside the church at dawn. The blood moon fades. Light returns to the sky. Birds begin to sing again. Narrator. The curse was broken. The ground beneath the altar had been cleansed. But just as they emerge, they find the church compound in flames. A child runs toward them, crying. It's Pastor Gideon. He has taken 3 villagers into the forest. He says it is time for the final sacrifice. At the edge of the dark forest, Obinna looks at Mama Efe and Danjuma. Obinna, panting. This isn't over. He's gone deeper into darkness. And now, he wants blood. The battle beneath the altar has ended. But the war for the soul of the village is just beginning. Stay connected. Don't let the story stop here. If this episode shook you, part 3 will leave you speechless. Like, comment, and subscribe to stay ahead of the darkness. Tell us in the comments, do you think Pastor Gideon will be stopped, or has he gone too far? Share this with someone who needs to know that not every man of God wears white robes. The fight for truth continues. Will you be watching? Subscribe now.